All right, this is John Reynolds. Jim Reynolds is taking the video here. John with his 1973 Volkswagen Super Beetle. He's done a few modifications though, and we'll get him to show us a few of those things and kind of what this is all about. It'll be a short video. So John, why did you decide to build up this 1973 Super Beetle?
Well, the idea was to make, I'm what you call the Volkswagen 2.0 crowd. I had a Volkswagen 40 years ago in high school and a little after that. Sold all that stuff. Now I'm back into Volkswagen. So we're called the 2.0 people. And I wanted to have what's called a sleeper, which means the car looks stock.
It looks very stock, as a matter of fact.
But it's not really stock once you dig into it a little bit. And so a lot of people hop up the Volkswagen motors, but I've been down that road. It gets really expensive. It's really old technology, and it's just not as strong when you're all done with it.
Okay.
So I transplanted a Subaru motor.
A Subaru?
Out of a 2009 WRX. That's the base motor. And
did that just kind of fit right in and with no modifications?
No, there's a lot of modifications. I use a Subaru Transmission. So in a Subaru, the motor's facing this way, and now it's facing this way because it's in the rear, just like it was originally.
I see.
So you have to do what's called a ring and pinion flip. So you put the ring gear on the other side of the pinion to make it go in the right direction when it's a rear engine.
So the Subaru was a front engine machine?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay.
And you disable the four-wheel drive. It's just two-wheel drive now.
I see.
And there's some other modifications in the transmission to make it strong enough because I didn't leave well enough alone and hopped up the motor. So the car now makes 517 wheel horsepower on a dyno. 517
horsepower in this little Volkswagen. But it looks so common. How could that be?
So to get perspective on this, the original setup had about 35 wheel horsepower. So we're almost 16 times what it came with from the factory.
From the factory.
Yeah. So I wanted to do the project. It's been done a lot of times, putting Subarus in here, but I wanted to do kind of a clean installation because a lot of them are hack jobs, if I may say.
Okay.
And I don't blame it on them. They have limited resources and limited skills, and they just want to get the thing done, you know. So,
sure.
So this is a little bit more
ambitious
and salt. So,
show us some stuff about this car.
So,
because right now it looks kind of ordinary.
The wheels are factory 1972, called Marathon wheels.
Marathon wheels.
And the reason I use them is because the rear wheels are stock, except they're widened to 8 inches, but it's all in board, so you can't see it.
It kind of looks stock right here, but if I get in the back. You know, I don't think this looks so stock anymore. How wide are these tires?
Well, they're called 275 50/15, so almost 11 inches.
11 inches.
And so they're drag radials, and so it's called, the body has been semi-tubbed inside, so the tire goes inside the car. There's a lot of suspension mods to make the tire all fit under stock fenders. I didn't want wide fenders because that kind of gives it away if you start putting wide fenders on it.
Well, it wouldn't be a sleeper with all that.
No.
Okay.
Nah, I just like the stock narrow look.
So are you trying to tell me, John, that the reason this goes faster because it has big fat tires?
No, it's the motor makes enough power that if you put a small tire in, it'll just be frying the tires all the time.
Okay.
So you need some tire on. So the tire gives it away, but it's one of those necessary things that it needs to make sure that it's not just doing burnouts everywhere you go.
All right.
Okay, and so if you want.
Is there a secret sauce in this engine compartment? Oh, well, that doesn't look like my mom's Volkswagen.
So that's a 4-cam Subaru motor. Originally it came with about 260 horsepower, and now it's at the crank it's probably around 600. It's called a low mount turbo, which means the turbo is down low, which means it has a very short header, which is better for power and response.
I see.
And then it has a thing called a scavenge pump because the turbo is so low it doesn't just drain. It has a oil feed in the drain. It doesn't just gravity feed drain to the pan. So you need a scavenge pump to pump it out and then pump it back in the pan.
Wow.
The oil for the turbo oiling.
Okay.
The intercooler I hand built. It's back in there. It's a water to air intercooler.
Oh, I see that aluminum looking thing.
Yeah, so there's water going through there, and that cools the intake charge, because a cooler intake charge means more power.
All right.
And so these are called the stock little exhausts.
Uh-huh.
They're not exactly what they look like. They're actually hooked up to the wastegate, not the main exhaust. The main
Alright.
exhaust is right here, which is 3 inches.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can see a little bit how that looks underneath there,
Yeah.
and where the wastegate. Those exhausts, they nicknamed them pea shooters.
Pea shooters.
But that's the original size, and so it just to give you
The authentic look.
the authentic look.
Wow. So,
And,
did you paint this yourself? Did you?
No, I had some. I'm not a painter.
Uh-huh.
It's just a learning curve that takes years and years and years, and so I know somebody that painted it. It does have a full 850 cage in it, because if I get faster than a 10-second quarter mile, you require a full cage. Gives it away once again, but it's necessary for the speed of the car. It's got what's called a rear seat delete, which is all this tin work back there, because a rear seat you can't even get back there, so I decided to put that in there. And
Rear seat delete.
yeah, and I made all that tin work
Wow.
and do all the.
And you're a painter guy. Painted all that stuff back here too. I see.
It's-
Wow. So you could just put your luggage back there then, right?
You could, but the dash is totally restored with the AM radio.
Let's go take a look on the other side there. Oh, original looking AM radio.
Yeah.
Wow, you can listen to KRLA and KFWB on that thing. Down here in
KFY.
KFY?
Bakersfield.
Okay, Caffey?
Caffey. And these are hidden gauges. I don't use them very much, so I put them inside the glove box.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Of course, we're in the era of masks, so
Oh, yeah.
10 years when you see this, what is all mask about?
They will say, what fools we were.
I said, we'll open up the hood.
Hood.
Oh, this is called the staging brake right here.
Staging brake.
Yeah, little button right there.
Okay.
So that locks up the front tires, so you can do burnouts. And the reason
Oh.
you do burnouts is so that you can get the tires hot enough for more traction.
Like the real drag racers, yeah.
Yep.
All right. See what's under the hood here.
So the big difference is there's a radiator right here, and I made all the shrouding and all
All
that
right.
stuff.
A
And so-
VW engine is air cooled, correct?
Yes,
All right.
and all the air is picked up from this factory. This is a Super Beetle, so it has a factory vents down here for if you
Oh.
wanted the air conditioning option.
I see.
So it works really well. That comes in there, goes through the radiator, and then goes back down the back of the car.
Man. Cool.
This business, all this plumbing it's called a surge tank.
Uh-huh.
And you need this because it accelerates so hard that all the gas in the main gas tank pushes back, and it loses its pickup. So
Oh, I see.
So you fill it up here. This thing pumps into the surge tank, and the surge tank is always full of gas, no
I
matter
see.
how much fuel's in there.
I see.
So you don't run out of gas on acceleration.
The gas actually is pushed up against the back of the gas tank
Yeah,
and unavailable.
yeah, unavailable. So
amazing.
this is how much groceries I can put in there, which is 2 bags, I'd say.
All right. Well, that's enough room for 3 sandwiches. All right, which, as a matter of fact, Vicky's waiting by over there. See her over there? And I think at this stage, have any closing thoughts? I'll get you in the sun here, right in front of your car. There you go. Right.
Well, it took about 2 years to build. I'm retired, so that's 2 years almost full time.
Wow.
And somebody asks you how much you have in it. Well, when you do something like this, you never record all the receipts.
I see.
I do have it insured with Haggerty for $50,000.
Wow.
I tried to get $100,000 on it. They said, nah, we need receipts and we need some estimates. We need some people to. I said, nah, 50 grand's fine.
Wow.
So you just want that in case somebody steals it or if it burns up or you.
Now, how do you get this thing through smog testing?
So all my projects are 1974 or older, and
see.
they're smog exempt.
Wow.
Even though this runs on E85, which is cornfield, which is green.
Yeah.
So it's actually cleaner than it was originally.
So the real reason you built this, you wanted to build a green car, is that right?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm all about the green, New Deal.
Okay, well, thank you, John. That was quite informative. I'm sure that my audience will just love to hear this. And hey, one last thing. So, what's your next project you're working on?
1967 Corvair with a LS4 transverse mid-engine setup.
Oh, like a small block V8 inside of a Corvair.
Yeah.
Well, that should be exciting.
Yeah.
All right, folks. If you like this video, please give me a like or some crap like that on the internet. And
Ring the bell. Push the like, ring the bell, subscribe.
Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks, John.